we don't negotiate with terrorists, to be honest with you. Meaning we don't really bend backwards on price whatsoever. If we've done a good job of articulating and getting you to admit the problem that you have in your current business and why it's important to solve this particular problem and why it's important to solve now, and have done a good job presenting our value and our solution, then the value should be there. The ROI should be discussed and talked about and or fairly obvious. It drives me nuts and bananas as a sales leader when my team comes to me and they're all excited. They're like, hey, Scott, I got this deal. They're ready to go. And I'm like, awesome. So go close it. And like, well, they'll do it, but they need a 23% discount. And I'm like, why are you bringing me this crap? This is not a deal. You haven't done a good job of finding pain and building value and creating urgency. Like, you don't have a deal. You have nothing. So go back and have these conversations over again. That's my general philosophy. I find it super frustrating as a buyer, and I've been a buyer many times before. If I ask you for the price and you're like, well, hold on, I haven't had a chance to explain everything to you. And then I ask again and I'm like, listen, I know you can't give me specifics, but like, give me an idea, a ballpark figure. At that point, somebody doesn't do that, I'm so turned off, like, I don't even want to deal with you anymore. If I'm trying to sell you, Justin, and you admit that this is a problem for you, okay? At some point, I need to understand, where does this sit in the stack ranks of all the problems that you have? Because if we do an ROI analysis and we figure out that this is a $250,000 problem, I think most sellers would think, holy shit, I got him. Like, it's a $250,000 problem. He definitely sees the value. Like, he's for sure going to buy right now. But if you got 19 other priorities and problems and the ROI is above a $250,000 on each of them, then your $250,000 problem is worthless right now. It's too far down the priority list. So one of the things that I like to say after we've done some kind of ROI analysis is, where does this sit now in terms of the dollar figure, the ROI of all the other priorities that you're going on? Is this like number one priority? Like, holy crap, we just uncovered a $250,000 situation we can solve? Or am I like number 100 on all the other problems that you're trying to solve? Without getting into the nitty gritty like that, you haven't actually succeeded in having a good ROI conversation with somebody. So that's the connection to me, is understanding, do they think this is actually a big problem? The $250,000 problem for Salesforce is nothing. A $250,000 problem for XYZ.com, early stage startup, is the difference between keeping the lights on and fuming and going out of business. So if you can get into that dialogue with somebody, I think it helps your case a good amount. If I'm a seller, nothing is more important to me than my mindset. So I don't want to deal with this prospect over here who's a pain in my neck, who's playing all sorts of games with me. I got too many other people to engage with, too many other people in my cadence that I'd rather spend time with. So my philosophy is sort of like, listen, we'll be here when you need me. You'll come around. Your problem is still going to fucking be here 6 months from now. It'll probably be bigger. You'll try to solve it yourself. I'm sure you'll fail. You'll try some other competitor of ours that I don't believe is any good, right? I hear stories all the time where somebody's like, oh, I'm going to go this other direction. And then they come back to me 6 months later and you buy from me anyways. That's my belief system as a seller. Whether that's delusional or not doesn't matter, because the delusion serves me to keep myself confident. And my confidence as I proceed through all of my accounts and all of my cadences and so forth, it's my belief that nothing is more important than that. And that will help me win in the end. Well, every single person that came through the organization as a hire on the customer side went through our sales training, marketing, customer service, sales ops, everybody. So they understood the messaging that we were delivering, the kind of tone and tenor of our approach and the philosophy behind certain things. I'm a big fan of that. And I never roll out, sales tactics without checking with my VP of marketing, without checking with my VP of CS. I want to hand over our messaging to the VP of CS and say, hey, Am I saying anything here that's going to make your life miserable? Am I over promising anything or misrepresenting things in any particular way? And if you've got a strong VP of CS, they'll bust out the red pen and be like, no, hold on, you can't do this, you can't do that. And then I make changes and adjustments. And when I have conversations with marketing, I say, this is the messaging that's working for us. Is this the messaging that you're going to put out there and share with the public to, drive more demand and inbound? And those things better be aligned. There's no point in Justin going in marketing on bullet point 1 that he thinks is a pain point when bullet point 2 is the thing that actually sells. But him and I never had a conversation and a dialogue to sort that out. That's a big misfire.
When you do your advising for when you're not directly enrolled with the company, do you prefer to get paid in equity or cash?
I get paid in both, brother.
So we started this Launch Your Own Incubator licensee program where we'll have some really awesome people come in and they will be able to launch 10 tech companies with us. And so what that looks like is we get about 150 ideas a week. You would have access to those ideas as well. And if any of them stick out to you and you'd want to bring them underneath your umbrella, they're all for you to take. And then you would come on as a strategic advisor to those companies. In compensation, you would get $2,000 a month per company.
Okay, so I spend $50,000 and I get paid $2,000 a month?
Yes, from each company that you have in your license program.
I'm not very good at math, but that's like 25 months before I break even?
Well, no, because if you have 10, then it would be $20,000 a month.
Okay, so I'd have to get to 20 plus. Why would I spend $50,000 to get access to deal flow that I already have access to?
Do you have the team that's able to bring all of those things to market by themselves with the product development and the fundraising strategies?
But the people that I work with already have that particular infrastructure in place.
Oh, then that's fantastic. Do they also have a 2.7 million email database to launch from?
No, but I'm pretty sure you can purchase one of those.
Yes, but they're all warmed up in an engaged audience as well.
I could see how this would be interesting for people who don't have access to deal flow and a particular network like I do. But how does this motivate somebody like me? What is the advantage for me? I don't know what I'm getting out of this, to be honest with you.
Because you're also getting the plug and play infrastructure as well, where we have this system where we do all of the documentation. We take care of all of the investment documentation. We talk to the SEC. We also have the accounting team, the finance team, the legal team, and all of the product development. And you get this linear line of going from an idea to getting an MVP. You want
me to just be an advisor? So you have all this infrastructure, but you don't have advisors to these companies?
No, we do have advisors because we sell these licenses.
So I'm confused. You want me to be an advisor, or you want me to be a CEO of one of these companies?
You would be an advisor to the company.
You're touting the fact that you have this massive infrastructure which helps all these companies succeed, but you don't have advisors. In fact, in order to get advisors, you're making advisors pay in a large lump sum and then slowly divvying out cash, and you're dangling 5% equity across 10 companies as really the way that somebody's going to make money and ROI off of this. Now, if one of those companies succeeds in a sizable way, I would make a truckload of money. That also usually takes 7 to 10 years. So I'm really just giving you a fucking loan of $50,000 so you can operate. And then I sit in the back, do what I can to advise people. And hopefully in 10 years, I get one exit and make a return. And on that model, it makes sense.
So that is the case. Usually people that we sell these to don't have the infrastructure and the deal flow that you have as well. But this is really for those people that want to step into this infrastructure.
Okay, so now take off the hat where like most people don't have the network, if you will, that I have. How many people who don't have the network and are at the stage that I have that stage I'm at, have $50,000 of cash to outlay into this program?
Yes. So we've been finding that our best ICP are strategic coaches and advisors like that as well.
You guys should expect a pretty quick ROI with Brightbound, because if you're putting $2,500 per month for all the 3 SDRs together, that should probably cut the cost by half and generate at least 6 more meetings for each rep each month.
It sounds bigger than $1,500 a month, even though it's the same amount.
Fair.
So that's my response to the $20,000 figure.
Cool. That makes sense. Yeah. And I believe the way that we actually have it on the Chili Piper website is we actually have all of our pricing right on our website. So that's something I really like about Chili Piper. There's no question, there's no beating around the bush. What you see is what you get. And we actually have a model where it's a per seat fee and then a platform fee that gets, stair steps higher depending on the type of.
Your general price point for your offering is around $50,000. And your company's probably been around for about 7 to 10 years. And you've been in this role of a CRO for about a year now. And you came in and had some certain expectations in terms of what your job was and where the company was. And that turned out not to be true. And so you came to me, Christina Del VR LLC, to try to help define what your go-to-market strategy actually is. So doing an audit of that and then building out what the go-to-market strategy you and your company needs in order to reach your revenue goals, which is to 2 times your revenue in the next year.
No. I'm trying to help you. I want to help you. So I guess I really, for every founder that's doing high ticket consulting, one of their biggest problems is time, right? Like, so you run into this thing where you get equity, it's probably going to be worth something someday. But what I find with founders, a lot of these consulting and high ticket, is they have a problem just from a pure marketing standpoint. They have a hard time getting that recurring model that they can just print another one, right?
Who's ready to jump right in? And your reps can go in, toggle it on, attach their prospects, and start making money. Boom.